And so we gather as a people of faith on this Sunday, Sunday designated as Gaudete Sunday. It means rejoice. The church then invites us to not only recognize the mood and the spirit of what Advent invites us to experience, but to anticipate with a certain sense of joy that which we are looking forward to celebrating, the birth of Christ and his promised return. The church invites us to either use purple or pink/rose. Before the 7 a.m. Mass, Horace said to me, "Father, it's a brave man who wears pink." But thank God, perception can be different. So Everton said to me before the beginning of this Mass, "Ah, Father, pretty in pink." Thank God for you both. We're invited to rejoice, but how, some of us may ask? How can we actually rejoice in this present moment? Many ministries in various churches and institutions, they are now doing their annual Christmas treat, taking food and gifts to those who do not have enough, and hoping to help them cultivate a sense of rejoicing at Christmas time. We know very well the headline stream of corruption in our country. We hear of contracts being awarded and going way out of proportion. We hear of practices and institutions that make us hold our heads and wonder how did it get to this stage. We hear of people, business people, being extorted by criminal elements in our society. Some of us may either be personally or know of people who are struggling with their health. Life has changed. Some of us fear Christmas. Why? Because a family or friend that we used to sit at a table with will no longer be with us. And so for some, it's hard to rejoice. For many, it's hard to enter into the spirit that the church invites us to undertake at this time. People love to say, for the good old days. The good old days. Maybe we can look back at the good old days and see what was happening. We can glean what happened in the good old days through the gospel. John the Baptist comes along and he begins to preach and warn the people, prepare the way of the Lord, the Messiah is coming. And the first thing he said, when asked what should we do, is, if you have 2 coats, give one away. The same thing if you have food, don't be afraid to share it. He said to the tax collectors, don't take more than what you are supposed to charge. It was common practice for tax collectors to collect for the state and then a little surplus for the self. The people responsible for policing, the soldiers, asked, what should we do? And John said, don't extort anyone. Be satisfied with your pay. Be careful of the violence and the false accusations. Beloved, all that we just gleaned from the past is what we identified in the present. For whether it's the past, the present, or the future, human beings will always be the same. And no matter what the time span or the generation, one truth comes out. That whether the people of the past, or the present, or the future, we all need someone to save us. Past, present, and future are concepts we as limited human beings develop and propose so that we can make sense of our reality. But we who worship a powerful God, for him there is no time. For him all is one. And that is a clue to why and how we should rejoice as people of God. For if we look at the past and try to make sense of the present, we can then springboard into the future. In the past, when God chose, he created all things. And he says, here's everything you will ever need to make you happy. Just don't touch this particular tree. Of course, Adam and Eve could not help themselves. God then knew beforehand, having given his people free choice, that we are going to need someone to save us. So in a moment in time, he says to Abraham, take your only son, and sacrifice him. Now, Abraham had done that. People would wonder what kind of a God that Abraham served. But God stopped him and said, no, don't kill your only son. Kill the animal, the ram that you see. Later on, at an appointed time, God revealed how much he loves us by sending his only son. And in that moment in time, Jesus preached the good news, healed those who were sick, and continued to reveal the Father's love. When the time was right, Jesus was crucified, but he rose from the dead and he ascended to his Father. And he said, I will return. I am coming back for you. So that, beloved, from the moment Jesus ascended into heaven till now, till the future, we are always a people on an Advent journey. We are always a people preparing for the return of the Lord. And therefore, when we look at the past, we can hopefully make sense of the present and look forward to the future. Our past, whether it be our personal history, our national history, or salvation history, shows something important. That God knows us more than we will ever know ourselves. And God, who created us, recognized that we needed someone to save us. And so when the time was right, he sent his Son, who has promised to be with us always through his Spirit. And that is why each time we take time to look at the past, we should ask ourselves, am I learning the lessons that my history and my journey comprises? Am I aware of the good times and the bad times? Am I aware of the experiences in which I overreacted or which I was able to shine like a light for the Lord? The season of Advent invites us to do something. Look within. Confront the darkness within. Recognize that some of us still have traits of darkness that only the light of the Lord can shine on. And when we choose to look within, sometimes it's hard because it's so much a part of our lives, the Lord in his light and love will not only help us to see the dark areas that we need to change, but the same light will help us to walk in the ways into the future that God desires. You often heard the expression, the history does not determine my destiny. Well, beloved, if I'm going to have a destiny, that destiny, colored by history, is based on the present moment in time. It's in this present moment that we are called to rejoice. Notice in the second reading, Paul did not say the following: if everything is going well in your family, rejoice. Paul didn't say, if your bank account and your business, they are all going well, rejoice. Paul didn't say, if you're in a happy place and nothing can disturb you, rejoice. No. He gave a command. Rejoice in the Lord always, he said. And again I say rejoice, meaning that when we know who our God is, a God of love and power, who gives us all that we need in the present moment to rejoice, we can truly enter into the spirit of the season. For we know too well how frail and weak we are. We know too well how easy it is to give in. We know too well sometimes our emotions take hold of us. But when we learn how to yield to this God who has promised to be with us and journey with us each time, we then sense a greater sense of purpose in our lives and claim that power that only Christ Jesus can give. The past is meant to be reflected on, for it points to a certain truth. No matter what, all things change. If I am happy today, give thanks, for tomorrow it may change. If I am sad and in despair today, still give thanks, for with God by my side, tomorrow it will change. Tomorrow is pregnant with promise. Tomorrow invites a brighter future, a new beginning, a new sense of purpose and hope. But in order for me to face tomorrow, I must look at the past and see if I have indeed learned my lessons in life. Have I learned how to become better through each day and each moment of my life? Have I learned how to truly surrender and let go of the darkness that continues to cling to my mind and my heart? Have I truly learned how to forgive? Have I learned how to love? Have I learned how to give up myself more so that God's glory may be seen in me? The more we know who God is, the more we can truly rejoice. I've said it before and I'll say it again. One reason why families are not inflamed with God, one reason why Christians are not inflaming our world, is because the family and friends don't sense that spirit of true rejoicing in each of us. That sense of joy of knowing who our God is. That sense of joy that says, no matter what happens in life, God is with me. And if I learn how to put my trust in Him, my hands in His, no matter what, God will take care of me. God will take care of the moment. God will lead me into a better tomorrow. Let nothing, beloved, disturb our peace of mind or heart. Let nothing or anyone rob us of our joy. Because when we know who God is, deeply, substantially, a God who affects us at the core of our being, it is then we can truly rejoice that this God is with us, and we who know Him can celebrate Him and have the love and courage to share Him with others. As we continue to enter this season, may we do all things that are pleasing to God. May we come to recognize those things that don't please Him. This is the time, in the word of John the Baptist, to repent, to turn away from them, to turn to God who is there waiting for us so that He may bathe us with His mercy and love. When we do this, we can truly rejoice, for our God who is with us will give us all that we need. To Him, beloved, be glory and praise forever.